Run it. Oh shit, let me get the mic ready, man. Forgot to get the mic involved, man. Big up to everyone locked in, man. What you guys telling me, man? Another blessed day on planet Earth, man. Gotta enjoy it. You got to enjoy it. Look, man, we're here to talk about Liverpool. We're here to talk about Wolves. Interesting game, bro. Must-win game. It's gonna be. I don't know if is it gonna be difficult. You know, the back end of a Plymouth loss, then drawing 2-2 with Everton. Yeah, it might be one of those ones still, man. I don't know, man. I don't know where my head is at with this one. But yeah, we'll you guys already know, man. We'll chop up the press conference to, a couple of the things I saw from it. We'll obviously do our team lineup as well, and we'll do our score prediction, and then we'll head out of here, man. It's been an interesting week, 2 weeks. Liverpool, man. There's obviously we rotated the team against Plymouth. The team was back to full strength, so the boys had a week's rest. You would say the boys had a week's rest off. Come back in. The expectation is to go into this game and smoke Everton, and get the 3 points and then leave, man. But so much things to kind of chop up from that game in terms of maybe an injury to one of the players, the refereeing decisions, the manager reacting the way he reacted. Sav made a great point about the physical teams as well. So that kind of, when we play against these teams that are physically imposing, we tend to not play that well. So I don't know, man. Wolves are a team that will probably try and do that as well. They can create chances. They're a good team, good footballing team as well, man. Some of the results when you watch them, you're like, right, how did they lose that one? And then they have the ability to, smoke your team as well. Well, listen, man. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. What is it? Probably like lunchtime for most of you guys. But yeah, should be an interesting one, man. But nowhere to start but the press conference. Big up to Bob in the chat. Obviously, they asking him about injuries. The injury side of it. You've got Cody Gakpo, possibly a doubt for the game. He said he was just more, probably just got kicked or something along those lines. So. He said, obviously, they had the day off yesterday, so they're all back in today. So it should be interesting to see. Maybe we'll find out a bit more about it later down. He said Morton, obviously, we know that part. And who was the other one? Morton and someone else. Gomez, that's the one. So Gomez is a doubt. He's not going to play. And obviously Morton, I think he's out for a little while. So apart from that, everyone's back fit, man. Trent is obviously played. He came on in the last game, so he's obviously back in contention to start the match as well. But yeah, Cody, man, I saw a couple of the comments yesterday as well. So big up to all the members, man. Yesterday was more of a members' chance to kind of get their points across. But yeah, now I saw a couple of them have said, I think it was Scraps as well. So big up, bro, if you're there, you're watching. And he said, without Cody scoring, he ghosts. If he doesn't score, does he ghosts within the game? I don't know. I've seen him ghost games. I know that for a fact. I've definitely seen him ghost games. But I don't know if we can use that in the last, say, month or so. I think he's turned up. His performances have been really high. So I don't know if we can use that. But in the past, I've definitely seen him ghost games. Definitely ghost games. I think some of the teams have probably just figured out how we play now and figured out some of the tactics we use within games. So I feel that we need to adjust it now. I think we've got 14 games left, 15 games left of the season. So we got a proper adjust our thought processes now going into these games, because look, we've played everyone once now. They're obviously going to have video evidence on how they played against us, and vice versa. We're going to have video evidence of how they played against us as well. But their job is now to beat us, right? And obviously we need to get them 3 points because we want to go and win the Premier League title. So yeah, I just feel like we might have to tweak it again. We might have to slightly tweak it again to make sure, we're surprising these teams and not making it too easy for them. It's similar to like how we was on the Jurgen Klopp when team just knew like Liverpool weren't gonna do none of this defending stuff. Obviously, you defend when you need to defend, but we're gonna press. We're gonna press up high at the pitch, and we're gonna make it difficult for you guys to get out. Teams figured it out and they went, look, if we go long, if we kick it long, we bypass their midfield, and that's how you get them to kind of struggle within the game. And I think that tactics is what works against us. Newcastle did it as well. They pressed us really high, and then when they needed to retreat, they did. And then what they'll do, they'll hit it long. So it kept bypassing our midfield. Everton did it quite a few times as well to try and miss out our midfield. So when our midfield was pressing really high, they would skip out those midfielders. So we got to tweak it slightly, man. We definitely got to tweak it slightly because we can't afford to drop any more points at the moment. We can't. If we want to go and win this title, by the end of the weekend, potentially we could be 10 points clear, and worst case scenario, we could be 4 points clear. So best case scenario is we want the 3 points. Worst case, if we lose and Arsenal say win their game, yeah, it could be 4 points, and then you're trying to navigate Villa and Man City and Newcastle after that. It becomes a lot more difficult. But I think if they drop some points, we gain some points, potentially we can put ourselves in a good position. We can look at them next 3 games as, if we can navigate those, you say, okay, that's Newcastle twice, that's Man City twice, that's Villa twice. You can go, right, we're kind of calm with that. But yeah, big up to you guys in the chat as well, man. Big up Andrew, big up Ends. That I was thinking bounce back on Sunday. Yes, I was annoyed about the decisions where it went against us as long as Saka is out for 8 weeks. Yeah, Saka is not bad. I was listening to what's his name, Arteta's press conference. He said they're miles away. Ben White is back for them though, but in terms of their attackers, they've literally got Trossard, Wanyeri, and Sterling. That's the only fit players they got, man. Fly's never been sent off in his career until the game comes to England. Yeah, I was looking at the stats and we brought it up yesterday in the stream we did, and he had 200 and something games in Holland, and he only had 3 yellow cards. Since he's been in England, he's had 3 yellow cards and 1 red card so far. So yeah, it's mad. Big up to Nick as well, bro. What are you saying, man? What are you telling me, bro? You good? What's going on, man? Leicester are not a good side. No, they're not. But, if Arsenal are missing a lot of their attackers, maybe they sneak it 1-0, innit? Obviously, they still got a good defense and they still got a good midfield. So, it's probably just more, will they struggle to score and could Leicester nick something? And then, I don't know. We'd have to kind of wait and see, man. We got Tudor, and I have a feeling Leicester get a draw. That's the hope, man. That's the hope. Because if they get a draw, it basically puts it back to where it was, you know what I mean? It just puts it back to where it was. Cody's it out for Sunday, but yeah. Mention that still. Man just come to England and then it's long. I'd rather Ngog and Voronin from 208. Raw. I remember when we signed Voronin, bro. I didn't even know where we signed him from, to be fair. I just remembering him just being in the team, and I was just like, all right, let's see what this brother can do. Because at them times, we weren't trying to sign anyone good. Like, we weren't trying to sign anyone with a bit of profile. It was just whoever you could get, just get, and it is what it is kind of thing. But yeah, man, Cody looks like he's going to miss the game. Not a good thing, I guess, because obviously he's been doing well. Likely, I don't know, because he said we'll assess him after. It's a knock than anything else. Big up to Gary as well. Nunes must start the rest of the games now. Let's see, man. Let's see. I'll show you what my team lineup looks like. Big up to Cav as well in the building, bro. Hope work is good, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, make sure the boss is doing his stuff, man, and no one else can complain. But yeah. Obviously they spoke about, he spoke about Curtis Jones, a question about how he reacted as well. And, Arne Slot saying I like that. He stood up for the team. Yeah, look, there's a time and place for it. I respect it because at the end of the day, man, don't try and go and celebrate in front of our fans. You're trying to incite some violence. You're inciting. So what if, him doing that, the Liverpool fans just run onto the pitch then? You know what I mean? Like, bro, just, you know what I mean? It's not like you smoked us in the game. It's not like you know what I mean? It's not like you finished the game and you won 3-4-0. Then I can understand a bit of arrogance. You drew the game. And that's why I don't understand. Like I've always been that winning mentality, man. I'd never celebrate a draw. Like a draw for us, and maybe that's arrogant. I don't know, but when you always want to win, don't you? And if you draw, you're like, but I'm not going to celebrate as if we win. It's like when Spurs did it when they beat us with the own goal, and the way that they celebrated that their fans, and then they got all the kids out and they were walking around a bit as if it was like a cup final or it was maybe the last game of the season and they needed it to stay up from relegation or maybe to get into the top four. It wasn't even like that. It's crazy, man. It's honestly crazy for him to just even go and do that. So I think Curtis obviously ran over there. Maybe if he did it slightly, I don't know. I say slightly better. How do you even do that slightly better? You run over there, maybe like tap him and say, "Yo, bro, what you doing?" I don't know. I don't know, but I respect it from Curtis. But obviously now misses the game, and it's the second yellow, so he'll miss today's one. I mean Sunday's one. Then he'll be back for the Villa game. The thoughts on Diaz recently. He needs. We need him to improve in Gakpo's absence, as they all do. But obviously he will start. My thoughts on him, bro. It's the same as what I thought about Cody last season under Klopp. Once Klopp tried something, the false nine, he then thought, okay, it worked in a couple of games. Cody scored. Then he was like, all right, yeah, Cody can play there. It was never his natural position. Remember how many conversations we had, and I'm just saying like, no, he's a left winger, just play him there. I don't like this false nine business, because then as a player, I said this, you lose identity as a player when you're playing in different positions. Then you become a jack of all trade, and you're not a master of any. So I'm looking at him going, Diaz is under the same thing now. You played him in the false nine and he did well for a few games, but then now you think it's something that could work in every game. And I don't think it can. And I think his reasoning when he said it, when we did it against Leverkusen, he said, I expect their defenders to want to play up against a striker. So if I put Diaz in there, that leaves that space open so he can drop deep and then the other players can run in behind. Made sense. I think, creative there, smart thinking, looking at their games, etc., etc. But then not every team is like that. Not every Premier League team is like that. Everton was never going to play open, so what's the point of playing him there? You'd rather probably just play a striker there to occupy them than free up the spaces out wide. We didn't. So I think at the moment he's kind of in that stage where, because he can play there now, the manager just goes, yeah, I'm going to use him there. Where I think he should be trusting Nunes and Jota. And look, I know people are going to say, nah, you're crazy, bro. Why would you want to trust one? One of them doesn't stay fit and the other one doesn't really score. So you're like, why wouldn't I just put Diaz there? But the problem is, what you have is, if you keep doing this, the other two are going to lose even more confidence. They're struggling for confidence anyway. Jota was out injured, come back, and he's played like a little bit of a bit par. At the start of the season, he was our main number 9. Obviously, he got injured, and then Nunes came in. Same thing with Nunes. Like you think a run of games, and I think that for a player, sometimes it just takes a certain amount of games for it to click for you as the main one. We have 6 forwards, right? Mo was obviously locked down his side, and no one can get that side of him. Gakpo and Diaz, between them, haven't really locked down the left. You'd probably say Gakpo recently has locked down the left-hand side, but no one's really locked down the middle. Ideally, you'd want that to be Jota because he's the one who started the season, but no one has. But if you're not going to continuously use someone in the position and just stick to it and just run it, and yes, horses for courses. I know there's different games. We require a different player. But at the same time, I think you needed to make it very clear who's the number 1 and who's the number 2. Because I think when you do that, if Jota is injured, then Nunes comes in. He knows, right, it's my time to play maybe a run of 10, 15 games. And we'll see what happens after that. But coming in off the cold, onto the pitch, 20 minutes, half hour, you start one, then you have to come off. Like sometimes you don't get that rhythm, and you don't get that because sometimes you look, there could be just certain periods within the game where you get the opportunity then lands where you've been making those runs all game. And every game is so different. You come off at the moment and then someone comes on and then they're in that position, the ball comes in where you'd normally be, and then they score from it, and you're like, right, that could have been me. But yeah, I think he just needs to stick to one of the forwards. If it's Jota, we're gonna run with, stick to Jota through the middle. If it's Nunes, you're gonna go with, stick to Nunes through the middle. At the moment, I think it's not concerning that you can't decide who plays there, because obviously we've got good players, and I think they've got enough about them. Between the six of them, there's enough about them to get goals in the team. But I don't know, man. I think we just need to give someone that position. If it's Jota, give it to Jota. If it's Nunes, give it to Nunes, and we'll just run it till the end of the season, man. Instead of this like fluctuating and chopping every couple of games, every other game, we're chopping and changing. It doesn't make sense to me, man. I'll go to this one first. Red and White Yank. When is Diaz's last league goal? None in 2025. Yeah, and look, the expectation is for him to score goals, right? And I get that. But at the same time, apart from Mo, I don't think any one of them is scoring at the moment. In terms of on a consistent. Well, sorry, Gakpo is scoring on a consistent basis as well. But I think it's just the guys in the middle, bro. Everyone that plays in the middle is struggling. Gakpo's been playing consistent games out on the left, scoring goals consistently. Salah's obviously played consistently on the right, scoring goals consistently. But everyone that plays through the middle is not consistent. Everyone that's gone through that middle hasn't been consistent. Yes, a lot. You'd say probably Diaz's goals have come through the middle, but it's not consistent based on what we're seeing. We're seeing that he's scoring. I think the guys on Coppish Cal worked out. I think he said that he scored in 5 Premier League games this season, and I think three of them were probably through the middle. You'd probably say maybe 4. So it's not consistent enough. So I think we just need to figure out a way to be consistent through the middle of through the number 9 position. At the moment, we haven't found that right balance yet. We found the balance for the wingers because obviously once you play someone in that position, they look like they're obviously scoring a goal on a consistent basis. Gakpo apparently is injured, so we could see Diaz Jota on Sunday. Yeah, he had a knock. That's what ARNE Slot said, but let's see what happens with that one. I don't think he'll be out though. I think he'll be on the bench, but I don't think he'll be out. It's a systematic issue. We not play for number 9. We don't play for number 9. Yes, I've said that a few times now, bro. But when I say it, it's like we always revert back to like last season. It's like, no, but we created a lot of chances, and we always look back at last season. I'm like, yeah, but that's under Jurgen Klopp. This is under ARNE Slot. I think we don't play for the strikers, and this is why I think the manager has opted for more of a false 9 because it works better for the front 3 instead of just isolating a position for one player. So we've been a team for years that we've used the false 9. When Bobby used to do it and he used to kill it there. Jota used to go in there and then we tried that, but Jota had that killer instincts at that time as well. Still does, to be fair to him, but he had that, and so he was still scoring goals. He could easily do the false 9 thing. And we tried it with Cody doing the false 9 thing. We never really stick it out and go with a number 9. Just like Darwin Núñez, yes, he played a lot of games, but even if you broke them games down, there was a lot of substitution appearances as well within that season. So yeah, I just want us to stick it out, man. I just want us to stick it out. And I get it, man, because if it's not working, you're like, no, I can change it. But we won't know. And obviously next season we're looking at to get a striker. You got Isak is the name on the on the list. You got Shesko, another name on the list of forwards to add to that, and then whoever else. But I'm looking at these guys going, yeah, they might even come in and suffer as well, bro, because I don't understand what do you do differently? What, just pass it in that area, cross it more in that area? How do we tweak it differently to get more out the guys through the middle? Because clearly what we're doing, Nunes ain't working in there, Jota isn't working in there, Diaz isn't working in there. So if it was just one player, you can go, do you know what? It's just you. It's just you. You're not good enough in that position. So, and I get that. If people are saying Nunes isn't good enough to play there, I get it. But then Jota has gone in there. We openly say he's the best one, if not one of the best finishers in the team, but he's struggling in there. We put Diaz in there to try and do the false 9 and the creative whatever. And he's struggling in there as well. So we've had data of 3 players trying to play in there. None of them has been able to do well. So with that kind of data, I'm looking at going, why would another striker somewhere else come in and all of a sudden the fourth we go right? This is the even like big up Lord as well. Even I see when they use Dan's through the middle against PSV, bro. He was like a lone soldier up there, bro, just on his ones. So we even had 4 players we've seen play through the middle. So I don't know. Maybe it is the system, bro. And I think we probably need to just look at it a bit more. Just kind of, I think within the game. Obviously, we've got Wolves next, so we'll have a look in that game. I don't know. For me personally, what I'll do, I'll just have a look and see obviously who starts up front, and then I'll look at how many times they drift wide, how many times they actually in the box for crosses, how many times do they actually try and find the guy in the middle. Those are the kind of things I'll be looking at in this Wolves game, and just to see, because I've seen it in plenty of other games in terms of, and that's why I mentioned it. But I don't know, man. I mean, maybe everyone else kind of has to see it as well. Uh, I'll go to this one first. Castro, sorry, but a striker isn't the issue. It's our midfield. It's weak. Yeah, that's part of it as well. I think obviously if you have a striker, if you have an actual number 9, you'd want a 10 for an example, wouldn't you? Sobo isn't a creative 10. He's more of a box to box type of midfielder. He has the ability to score goals, has the ability to get an assist, but it's not good. His prime focus for me, I don't know if it looks like trying to create. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that. It might be that, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like he's just in there to make sure we have a balanced midfield. So we just have to work. We just have to work really hard in there. If we get the opportunity, we'll try and take it. But yeah, as I said, I don't know. The striking position is one of those ones that keep just failing, man. And I think it's the way we play. When we play Diaz, we play him to his feet, stop the long ball into him 24/7. Same for Nunes, play him. Sorry, same with Nunes, play him in behind, stop asking to receive deep. Yeah, I agree with that one, because I say to you, like, honestly, guys, man, he makes, like, Nunes, hate him or love him, man. You know what I mean? He's like Marmite, right? He makes runs, bro. But sometimes I'm just like, bro, you guys are not gonna pass it to him, bro. I get it, man. Like, I'd rather you just pass it to him, and if he misses, then you can just criticize him. But sometimes I see them blatantly this guy, nah, I'll give it to somewhere else. I'm like, just pass it to him. If he makes a good run, give it to him, because he might surprise you. The more time you give him the ball, he might surprise you. I don't know. You know what I mean? But we always go back to last season. Oh, look when he was last season. Look what he's doing. I get it, man. I understand it, but at the same time, bro, like, we're in a new season, so we have to kind of trust the players we currently have, right? But you're right, though. Diaz drops deep. He tries to create the space in behind for like Mo and Gakpo to run in behind, and Sobo to make that third man run. But yeah, man. Big up to Pops in the building. Big up to Miriam as well. I think we'll win 3-1. We'll get to that. We'll get to the score predictions, broski. Red Arm Share, midfield is the best in the league. Yeah, from probably a statistic point of view, maybe from like a balanced midfield. But I don't know about for like goals and assists. I would have to kind of check that, to be fair. I don't know if Man City's midfielders are doing that well for them. I don't think they're getting bags of assists or goals from that position. Arsenal midfield and I don't think they're getting bags of goals and assists. Chelsea's maybe not, like Palmer, obviously. He's like a 10, isn't he? But he drifts to the left and right sides. So I don't know what you would class him as. Who else? Newcastle's midfielders, they're not really like prone for goals and assists. But to be fair, Tonali and Guimaraes scores goals, to be fair. And they do get a few assists. What other team am I missing? Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Man City, Arsenal. Maybe like even Forest. Nah, they're not really getting a lot of goals from their wingers are getting a lot of assists. But yeah, maybe we have to just look at it and see what the other teams are doing, to be fair. Is it and say it's Mo's fault because they all deferred to him? It's not about saying it's Mo's fault in it. I think I think with Mo is obviously the main man at the team at the moment from an attacking standpoint. So he's the most trusted when it comes to getting a goal and creating something. You give the ball to your best players in your team and hope that they can, do their job, which is to create and score. Um, but even doing that as well, sometimes pops. It's the sometimes about trying to find the right balance within the team. Um, Obviously, he's the main character right now, main man, and he deserves to be. I mean, he's been doing it for not like numerous years now. But sometimes you have to try and find the right balance in a team that fits everyone instead of one. And it's not a knock on Mo. It's more of a we had a great trio: Mo, Mane, Fab, um, Bobby. Sorry, and it worked perfectly. It worked perfectly. It was like perfect harmony, man. It flowed right. But now it doesn't feel like it flows right. It feels like it's only one man. And yes, you can probably say blame the other guys, and I think that would be a fair statement as well. Blame the Nunez's, the Gakpos, the Diaz, and the Jotters. But at the same time as well, why is the system only working for one of the six? It doesn't make sense. It surely something must be wrong, and that's where my mindset goes to. If it's working for one of the six, that something must be wrong then, because if it was like, what I mean, like it's working for half of them, you can go, okay, maybe it's just, these guys when they fill in, they're not really cutting it or whatever. But the system only works for one. Cody's obviously been the anomaly in the last month or so, but that's where the off balance stuff comes from. I don't think the attacking line is balanced enough. Yes, you could probably go in the market, replace and get some players in and probably fix that. Or you can find a solution within what you're doing currently. Um, I don't know what that solution looks like at the moment. And I have an idea what I'd want it to look like in the summer, but obviously some fans might not want to hear that part. But I think we'll get to that line when we get there. I guess we'll see what happens in the summer. So I'll keep that one to myself. Um, where is this one? And do you think it was unfair on Slot for bringing on Endo against Everton? Do you think it was unfair of Slot not bringing on Endo? And I think it's unfair. I think he should have done it. And obviously, hindsight is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because you look at the game now and you go, yeah, if you brought him on, maybe Wataru would have made a difference. I think he would have made a difference. I think when you're in a game and it's tight and it's close, and even in his press conference today, I don't know how many of you guys watched it, and he said he didn't really feel comfortable. He was in control of the game, so he thinks the draw was the fit on balance of the game. It was fair. So I think if you felt that way, okay, then I think you should have then brought on someone that could have added a bit of balance. And that balance was like the shoring up. Because Wataru coming on, what that then brings is a bit more tenacity, a bit more hunger, a bit more drive within the midfield. I think he opted to try and go for the control of maybe just possession, but sometimes in the Premier League, the possession thing isn't going to work when it's late on, when they just want it a little bit more because it means, I'm not going to say it means a little bit more to them, but obviously they were the home team, so they wanted to not lose that last game at Goodison Park. So, yeah, for me, I would have brought on Wataru, and I think that would have made a massive difference, and even Kwanzaa as well. And what you would have then done with that is, and then either left Mo up front, and change the formation, put five at the back, three in there, two wing backs, and that would have nullified, because all they wanted to do was get it down the wing and cross it, right? Or they wanted to get into those little crossing the half spaces for the crosses. So if you go into a back five, you put the third centre back on, you put the DM in front of that. The wing backs then become the ones that stop you from getting those half spaces. And if you do go by the wing back, then you've got that third defender that can cover around, but that still leaves someone centrally, that still leaves someone behind them, and then the left wing back or the right wing back, depending on which side we're operating down, they're operating down. You could cover around, and then you would have Wataru, and I think it was Curtis Jones that was still on the pitch at that time. You could still have those McAllisters will just do their jobs in those positions. But look, that's just on hindsight. You'd expect him to learn from that and move forward from there, to be fair. So not gonna knock him too much about it. And have I missed anyone else? Get another one of the questions in there. Bear with, guys. Okay, I think you guys are just talking to each other in there. Um, Obviously the gaffer said the emotions got the better of him. Um, yeah, it's an emotional sport, isn't it? Football. You have to learn how to control your emotions. Um, and he probably didn't at that moment. He sounded really apologetic in the press conference. I didn't want him to I didn't want him to kind of back down, but I get it. Obviously, he's playing the game, isn't he? He knows it's on the review. He doesn't want to say something wild or something that they could use against him in the hearing or meeting or whatever what they do for that. So I think he was just trying to be a polite. He said, "Yeah, if I look back at it, I could have handled it a bit better." And I get it. Look, he probably looked at himself and was like, he probably overreacted at the time, but it was justified. For me, it was justified. And one of the questions was as well you don't see a team that have that much possession give away that many fouls. It doesn't make sense. And he agreed, and we all agreed. Like some of them fouls are crazy. Like to make the amount of tackles we did, and pretty much most of them were fouls. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make, especially when we have the ball. Ideally, you'd think that they would be the ones fouling us because we have a majority of the ball. Like I've never seen a stat like that many fouls, 20. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but I've never seen like 20 fouls being given to one other team. I remember on the clock, especially when we used to play against teams, right? That was say their main goal threat was like set pieces, right? I used to notice like when we played against those teams, I know for a fact the referee's going to give them loads of set pieces. And even if they were good from like corners, I remember, yeah, what was the team that was good? Not Arsenal. Before Arsenal was like really good at corners. Who was the other team? It weren't Everton. Who was the other one? There was another team in the Premier League at the time, and it was like every time they got corners, they would score from them or close to scoring from them, just like Arsenal. And we nullified, we stopped, we didn't give them no corners to nullify that. But teams with like free kicks when they were like dead ball specialists and stuff, they'll put it in. Stoke was like that. Um, you're right. Stoke Wolves, yep, they were like a set piece team as well. Then when they had like Kilman and those guys, but I don't, I just knew that him giving away that many fouls, I just knew they wanted to make sure Everton had enough chances to use their set pieces, and stop us from playing. I like Ndai, I think his name is. I think he's obviously hurt his knee, so I think he'll be out for like a few weeks as well. So it's crazy, man. It's honestly crazy. Like 20 fouls, that's crazy. He also looked at Cunha as well, speaking about Tejas Cunha, about how quality he is as a player, because I think they asked about, he can make a difference and a difference maker. I'd love to know what you guys think of him. I heard Drifty mention him a couple of times, that he's good. I think he's a good player, to be fair. He's in the team. He wasn't, when he first came to the Premier League, he wasn't as good as he is now. Obviously, he's adapted and got better at what he's doing, but yeah, I think he should be at a better team. I don't know if that's Liverpool, but yeah, I think he needs to be at a better team. But that's the thing as well. We don't know what profile of striker on a slot wants, because we had a chance to sign Isak in the summer. We didn't do that. Um, you know, Pedro has been mentioned as well. Who else has been mentioned apart from like Isak and Shesko that I've seen in the Premier League? There's a few other. I don't think Watkins has been mentioned at all. So I don't know what type of striker he wants. I don't know if he wants like this. And one of the press conference, he said he wants one that can, basically be a false nine. He wants someone that can, operate in those half spaces, and he wants someone that can be a goal for it. But I don't know, man. I'd rather just a striker when we play for, yeah, João Pedro. Yeah, I'd rather just a striker, man. But I don't know if we're gonna play for the striker. What do you mean about Declan Rice, bro? Let me know. Maybe I missed what you said about him. Oh, would I take him or do I rate him? Nah. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's go to the team lineup, man. I've opted to this. So let me know what you guys would do with your team lineup. Obviously, Jones is going to be suspended. Gomez is out. Obviously, we don't know if Gakpo will. I don't think he'll miss the game, but I think he'll probably be on the bench. You know what I mean? If he's got a knock, you're not going to really start him unless he comes into the training session today and he's fine. then you'd probably still start him. But for me, I've gone. Let's do it this way. I have gone with Allison in goal. I see a couple of people said they should have saved the first one, went underneath him and stuff like that. But yeah, nah, I'm not gonna. I think he was a good shot, to be fair, man. But let's see. In it, I think Allison is still the number one at the moment. He's still doing well. He's definitely back to his best. But when we keep conceding these mad goals all the time, there's nothing you could have done about the second one. And possibly something you could have done about the first one, but yeah, I'd have to kind of look back at it again. But I don't know. Then you go right back. You'd probably say Trent comes back in, wouldn't you? Because he's back fit now. A few more days rest, ready to go again. So Trent will come back in against Wolves for me. Bradley's done well, to be fair to him. But obviously Trent is the main one. Straightforward, Virgil and Kanate. And then I'll stick with Robbo. I'll stick with Robbo for this one. Yeah, with Tsimikas and Robbo, man, I think obviously everyone's has mentioned so many times about them. Obviously, we need an upgrade. But one of them will end up staying. One will go in the summer, in my opinion. I don't know which one and what that looks like and who that left back is, but we'll see. We'll see. But I think Robbo will start this one for me. And then obviously Gravenberch will come back into the midfield. Obviously, he got subbed in it. He wasn't having a great game. Maybe just the type of game, the rhythm. But last season when he played against them, he bossed the game. Was it the Anfield one? No, he was the Anfield one because we lost that Goodison, didn't we? But he bossed it in that game for me when I was watching him play, man. He was a standout midfielder in that game. But yeah, so he'll come back in. McAllister, outstanding game in the Everton game for me, man. That header was outrageous as well, by the way. So yeah, now he'll keep his position. Them two will play together, but we have to make sure our passes are better, man. Some of the passes in that Everton game was a bit dreadful, man, at times. So we got to make sure we pattern up and tighten that one up. You have the option now. Obviously, I've gone with Sabah. I think that's the three that works, isn't it? That's the three that's worked majority of the season. Is there any reason to kind of change it? No, but as I said, sometimes we might have to change something up because we're getting a bit too predictable at times within certain games. So maybe a Harvey Elliott in the 10, maybe just starting Harvey for this one could work, but I've opted for Sobbo because I think that's what we end up doing. But maybe Harvey could come in and pattern up maybe in the 10 position for this particular game and see how he does. Or what you could do is put Gravenberch and Wataru, and that gives you a nice little solid base defensively. And then you can give McAllister that freedom to go and express himself, go and create. That's another option I think we should look at in games. I would love to see this combination. I've said it a few weeks back. I would love to see Gravenberch and Wataru just sitting in and just keeping the ball moving and then find this man in the half spaces. I think it would be outrageous. I think it would be mad, because he doesn't have to necessarily worry too much about the defensive side because you've got this man behind you and then you've got that man there as well. So that gives us a nice little foundation to build from. Obviously, Diaz I've gone with on the left-hand side. Back into his natural position, man. You know what I mean? Maybe he's losing a bit of confidence because he's not playing in his preferred position. The left side is where he wants to play. Do you know what I mean? And that's where we should just play him. I think if you're going to use him, I think you could use him on the right or the left. This down the middle thing, I think he can work in some games, not all. There's a particular game, a moment for it, but I think we've kind of opted to go right. It could work in every game. I doubt it doesn't. So go left. I've gone with Nunes up top. I think you have to trust it. You have to trust him. You have to trust him or Jota now. I'll go for Nunes for this one. It's at Anfield. Just play him, man. They're gonna. I think they'll go over back five, in my opinion. So you're gonna need someone to try and occupy the back three, and a bit of presence up there as well. And let's build off of the performance because he had a good performance against Brentford when he came. You know what I mean? Played in that one. Come on. He had a really good performance against Spurs, and then he's out the team again, and you're just like, you can't really build on the momentum. You can't really build on certain things, and you bring him on in the game, with the Plymouth game. You're like, you might as well just build on that and start him, and then you know what I mean. If he's fit to start him and play him, that's what I would have kind of done. But obviously, the manager gets paid to make those decisions, and so far he's made some brilliant decisions as well. So I can't really knock him in that instance. But yeah, I think you have to go with either Jota and just stick to one of them and just go right. That's what we're gonna do now. We need the striker to strike, and we're gonna play down the middle, and we'll go from there. But let's see what happens. And then obviously Mo plays on the right hand side. He normally does well against Wolves, to be fair to Mo as well. I know you guys remember a lot of them goals, man, when he's just dribbling and dropping shoulders and having guys ice skating, bro, and falling over and throwing himself at the football and, you know, him just scoring some brilliant goals against Wolves in general. So, yeah, I'll be looking for him to score and get maybe an assist in this one as well. And then on your bench, you just have your normal folks, man, trying to come on if we need them to come on. So if it's Nunes at start, you'd have Jota on the bench. If it's Diaz at start, you have Cody on the bench. And if, Salah, obviously, he's going to start, so you'd have Chiesa. Harvey will be on the bench. I don't know who else will make the bench because obviously with Jones being suspended, so someone else will probably make the bench from a midfield standpoint. He might call one of the other guys up. But yeah, that's my lineup. Yeah, and Nina has been good at home. I think it's just consistency, bro. I think just starting the player and this, and I get it, minute because even when he started, it could be really bad, but I think he could just breathe a bit of consistency, a bit of understanding from the players, because we keep chopping and changing it. 1 minute it's Diaz, next minute is Jota, next minute it's Nunes. He's just like, bro, we can't really build on any momentum or any cohesiveness. We can't build on anything, no chemistry, nothing, because we keep changing the guy in the middle. And obviously, I'm not saying you can't chop. If someone deserves a start in a minute. But I think where Jota has been out and he hasn't come back, hit the ground running. Nunes, he's not been great, but he's had the better performances, you'd probably say, out of the two recently. Obviously, Jota was injured, but he's come back in, not really done nothing. So you'd say just play Nunes until, whatever, man. And then Jota can just win the position back, I guess, when he comes onto the pitch. But at the moment, the uncertainty is what's getting me at the moment. Manzo Nunes looks like Randall from Monsters Inc. Yeah, that's mad still. How many points do you think will drop in the next 5 games, bro? Hopefully none, bro. Hopefully none. But if I'm being realistic, I think maybe the only one I was thinking maybe the Wolves one, but I don't want that to be because we need to get a win. Maybe the Villa one. Nah, I don't even think the Villa. Maybe Newcastle. I think Villa don't play defensive football, so I think that plays into Liverpool's hand. Man City don't play defensive football, so they'll play into Liverpool's hands as well. So what I mean is they have the firepower to harm us as well, don't they? Both teams. So Aston Villa and obviously Man City have the ammunition to hurt us, but so do we. And I think with a more open style of a game, I think Liverpool thrive over that. I think the Newcastle game, they will probably. I know Zabir was mentioning yesterday, it's like a free hit for them, and I agree to an extent as well. But I feel like they have the players to just really like sit and make it difficult for us, and then just hit us in a counter attack like they did at St James Park. So they could be the one. I think Wolves will play 5 at the back, in my opinion. But I think because we're at Anfield and we need a win, we'll get across the line there. So maybe the Newcastle one. So I'll say 9 points. 9 points will beat Wolves, will beat Aston Villa, will beat Man City, and then we'll draw to think. So 10 points. 10 points out the next 4. Because we already played. You said 5, didn't you? You said 5 games. But I think we already played Everton, didn't we? So I don't know if you were including them in that one. Yeah, we should beat every team this month. We're better than them. Yeah, the only thing is they've kind of figured out how we play some of them anyway. Got some tough games, but we had the same. Didn't we have a similar run in? I want to say November. Was it November time or was it in December when we had Villa, Man City, Real Madrid? I felt like we had someone else mad before that as well. It was like Arsenal, Chelsea, someone, Villa, Real Madrid, Man City. Like it was something along those lines, and we navigated through them games really well. To be fair, we navigated. Like a lot of people was like, "Nah, they're gonna drop points." Now they're playing someone difficult, but we navigated through them games really well. We ended up winning most of them games, didn't we? Beat Man City, beat Real Madrid, beat Villa, Like we'll just, we drew with Arsenal, drew with Chelsea. No, we beat Chelsea, didn't we? Yeah, we navigated and we beat Villa. So we navigated through them games really well. And I think this is a moment now where we got to try and navigate these games. I think we definitely need to get at least in the next, what was it got? Wolves. So the home games, I think we should need to win those. So that, let's say the home games we get the 6 points. That's Newcastle and Wolves. And then the away games, just don't lose them. I think don't lose the away games, and we could be good there, man. We could be good there. But yeah, let's get to the score predictions, guys, man. Score prediction wise, I'm gonna go with a 3-1. Liverpool 3, Wolves 1. I'm gonna go with, and those are my 3 goal scorers. I'm gonna go Diaz, Salah, Nunes to get the goals. If they're the 3 that starts up front, I think that's the 3 that possibly will. So that's mine. I'm gonna give 3-1. What do you guys give? What's your score predictions, and who scores them goals for you guys? Let me know. Score prediction time. 2-0. Bobby forgot to put the goal scorers, man. We gotta try and predict this, bro. 2-0. Ultra, you gone 3-0. Diaz hat trick. Count Tom can hold that. Fairs. Who else, man? Who else? What's your score prediction, guys? Should be an interesting one, nice man. Should be an interesting one. But yeah, man, we're sitting 7 points clear, man. We should be all right, man. Should be all right. A lot of panic in there, bro, because we got that, PTSD setting in early, bro. We need to just relax. All right, there you go, Bob. We got Darwin and Sub, yeah? Fair enough. Alexander, 4-0. Salah, double jar, and Trent. Castro, I think it'll be 1-1 or 2-1. Ashley Russell in the house, big up 3-1. But yeah, you gotta put the goal scorers in there, guys, man. You know what I mean? Make it a bit more fun, man. Russell's gone 2-0. Yeah, you gotta make it a bit more fun, man. Put the goal scorers in there as well. Because if you get it right, man, it'll be interesting to see. Big up to Sav in the building. 5-0, Diaz, hat-trick, Ibu, and Jota. 2-0, Cunha and Gomez. You're a waste, man, Jerry. What to Wolves? Jesus Christ. Nah, Russell is at Morel. I want this song. Oh, you're talking to each other there. So, Jerry, what's going on, bro? Man said, why are we going with a 2-0 to the Ops, bro? I just want the world to burn, bro. Okay, Salah and Jota. Fairs. Bro, why do you want the world to burn like that, bro? No need, man. No need. All right, man. We'll leave it there, guys. Look, we lose this game and then go on a win streak. Nah, bro. We win this game and then go on from there to a win streak, bro. I don't, but I can feel it. Yeah, stop feeling it, bro. Stop feeling it, bro. You know what I mean? This ain't no crystal thing, bro. We ain't charging. We ain't putting our feet in the ground. Salah. 3-1 Nunes, Gakpo, Sobo, red and white, Yang. 3-1 Salah, Jota, and Dom. Yeah, we need to get back to our winning ways, man. Need to get that winning ways back. Man said he's report. Are you snitching for Ultra, man? Don't snitch, bro. Don't have snitches around here, bro. Where did you get that news from, Jay? Let the people know, man. Where did you get that news? Yeah, we know Gakpo's a doubt. Nah, man. Someone that got a hold of Jerry's account, bro, to start trolling. I hear it, man. Quasi-bot. Okay, then we know it's not real. Then all right, that's fine, man. We know it's not real. Then we know it's not real. But listen, man, we'll be let's see. I might be back later on today, man. See what's going on. Actually, no, I am going to be back. Man said Sky Sports Salah minor injury. How did Sky Sports get that one? The manager said there was no injuries, bro. Man, hey, look, I know everyone's scrambling now. Let's see. Hands up. How many of you guys clicked off of it? Well, you probably ain't gonna hear it if you clicked off of it. If you open up another tab, how many of you guys have gone to Twitter right now to go and look to see to see if he's injured or not? I know there's bare man in here started panicking straight away. Bear man clicked off. Oh, yo, let me go and check Twitter quickly. Let me go and type this in. Nah, I know Jay, bro. Man just deep and said, yo. Shit, man. But yeah, nah. Listen, guys, we'll leave it there, man. We'll leave it there. Potentially being back later. Not too sure, maybe what time and stuff like that, but I'll let you guys know. Just send the link. Yeah, I'll just do maybe a little chill zone later, man. I'll see if anything pops up and then we'll chop that up later down. If not, it might be a pre-recorded. So keep the notifications on, man. Keep the notifications on. You know what I mean? But let's see, man. We get the 3 points. You know what I mean? We potentially by the end of the weekend, we could be 10 points clear. Potentially. Worst case scenario, we're only 4 points clear. Best case scenario, 10 points clear. Let's see what happens, man. But yeah, later down, I'll see what's going on. If not, I should be on the Sam's channel today, I think. See how I feel, man. I don't know what kind of agendas he's going to run today, but we'll see. But people, go and enjoy the rest of your evening, man. Peace.